Well, we're back haying. Except this time we're in the North Marsh now, Plum Lake. There's Plum Lake right there. Hey everyone. Well, like I said, we're back at her. We picked those few bales like in the last video and did some odd jobs, and Sherry and I went away for 3 or 4 days here last weekend, so looks like the weather's somewhat favorable to go back haying, and we got some ground to cover. So it's mid-August now, so we gotta get at her. Pitter patter, let's get at her. So where we're at right now, Dad's place is that way, which is south. We're on what they call the Jiggins place. And the building site is just past those trees. And this is Plum Lake. And then it's kind of an overflow from Oak Lake, which is out there, past that bluff way out there. This is actually Jiggins's Bluff. It's an island in the marsh. About 3 miles, I think 3 miles roughly, and about a mile wide of sand hills and trees and whatnot. And we have here, well, there's 3 different quarters that it spans, but really there's only probably, if we cover a quarter section out of the whole 3 quarters, that would be probably doing good. Because as you can see, you can't cut hay in the trees or in the lake. So Dad was out with the 320 there yesterday. He was cutting over there. I was cutting with Old Faithful here, right here on this higher stuff. So far the hay crop is really nice here compared to where I was there in Maple Lake. Some of those shorts that I was putting on. That's where I was haying before. And the hay was a lot shorter in some of the lower ground here. But here it's pretty good all over. Making a real nice swath there. So, and even over there where it's a little lower and maybe a little rougher ground, I send Dad in there with the hay bine, and he's got to do a little trimming over here too, because I don't go charging into the sloughs too much with the old swather. We leave that for the hay bine. So yeah, it's time to get at it, get going here. Like I said, there's this place here, a couple of days of cutting, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more quarters to go to, not necessarily cover. So it's time to get going. So guess what we'll do, I got the generator here on the truck and the leaf blower, and I forgot to blow the rat off before I took off yesterday, so that's what I'm doing out here this morning. Did that with the other rig there yesterday, got it serviced up, ready to go. Dad had a little hiccup yesterday on his knife. I seen him about a quarter of a mile that way. He had broken sections in the middle. There was a broken guard. So I had to stop here. So I thought I'll go walk over and see how he was doing and hear what had happened. In the middle here, I guess he realized, he told me there late last night there when we were going home. He says, kind of hit a page wire fence. I think that's what buggered up this knife. So anyways, a good thing I put these new knives, or refurbished knives, in the hay bine before we left. So there was, I'll show you when we get back to the yard how much damage there was. There was broken sections. The bolts were broke off on on the middle here, and there was sections jammed in there, and he was having a heck of a time trying to get them out. So we spent probably a good hour getting that all straightened out and fixed up. So he got delayed a little bit, and then my knife was jamming here a little bit. Sometimes when it's short with this swather here, it's not really designed to cut hay. But with the Schumacher knife system here, and now that we've got this pickup reel, it seems to be better for picking it up. But sometimes in that short hay, it just wants to sit on here and then plug up the knife. So I don't know if anybody knows about this Schumacher system, but that's how it works. Kind of a coarser serrated knife section. The guards, I think I showed you in a previous video about a year ago, but this is what really helps us cut prairie hay. Otherwise we wouldn't be using this. You wouldn't be able to. We've tried it with the Case IH guards and knife, and no, it didn't work at all. All it did was rattle the bolts off the Wobble box here. These 4 bolts, it rattled them off and just created more problems. So this works a lot nicer, and as you can see, it cuts pretty decent. Every once in a while, like I said, I think my biggest problem is my drive belt is probably a touch loose. So that's another thing I got to do this morning, is clean this rig up and maybe tighten that belt up. So I guess let's get things cleaned up. Well, here are the knives that come out of the hay bine here yesterday. As you can see, there's one busted section, and some of these are getting fairly dull anyways. Got a fair bit of wear, as you can, I don't know if you can see it that close, but see if I can, can't zoom out. And this knife, well, that's where the sections broke off on the bolts, and they were jammed up so Dad couldn't get the knife out. Another broken section there. And actually another one over here. So yeah, you can see here especially where it's got a fair bit of wear, and I'm not sure. Hopefully you can see that. So he's making a few phone calls here this morning about some sections, and may as well have this refurbished for we may have another hiccup. And I hear him coming back now, so get my jugs filled up here. Thought maybe we better have our portable fire extinguishers ready. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have it, you never know. So I guess off to the field we go. Well, there goes Dad. He's going to cut some of the low ground. I'm going to finish this piece here, and then I'm going to head to where he's going and cut some high ground out there. He told me to go, and there's some high ground I could go and cut. And of course I got to slum it again today. All I can do is crank the fan up as fast as I can and open this window up. And hopefully enough of a breeze to keep me cool enough. If not, screw it, I'll just quit. So, still waiting for a compressor. So, Good things you gotta do when you gotta wait for parts. Talk to you in a bit. Well, less than an hour later, I had this happen. It looks like end of the shaft buggered up on this roller. Oh joy, oh joy. Well, at least we got the other one going yet. So, okay. Well, I got the canvas off. This bearing is running pretty rough, and this tube broke. It's supposed to be on the end like that, it looks like. Like yay. So Jesus finally snapped and even bent that other side there a little bit, but that's not a major. I do have a couple of header carcasses that we robbed parts off of, so I'm thinking I can get going here in decent enough time, so let's go and do that. Well, she's ready to wreck again. I got to rob this one off an old 16-foot header that we had back at the yard, and it's still rolling good. Bearings seem to be okay, so I think we'll give it a whirl with that. And then this tin here was pooched on the other one, so I may as well rob this one while we were at it. Only took another 3 bolts and less than 5 minutes to change that. I'll show you what the other one looked like. And yeah, there was half of it broke off. Disappeared. So I figured, well, while we're at it, may as well replace that. So we're down about 3 hours. I had to go and, whoops, I pushed the wrong button, pushed this button. Anyways, I went home. Once I got that roller off, it was getting, what, plus 30 here today. It's getting pretty warm, so I thought I better go to the house and cool off, and watched a couple of YouTube videos while I was cooling off. Got caught up on some of my subscriptions. One was BCP Farm and Trucking, and the other one was Sunny Farms. So I watched a couple of their videos, and this morning it was Ed Goslin from Goslin Farms, so a little shout out to all 3 of you. And yeah, now that I'm cooled off, and it's getting toward 6 o'clock here now, so So yeah, got that back together and get the canvas back on and hopefully finish cutting over there at least today. Dad still, if I can zoom in here, oh, it doesn't want to zoom in for whatever reason. He's still way over there cutting, and I phoned him there and told him if you can go just keep cutting the high spots, go ahead. And he says, well, I'll keep cutting in the low spots and see what you can do. So I guess let's quit talking and get back at working. Well, I think we got another hiccup here. I finished my piece out there, and Dad, he was finishing up on that hill there. He told me to come down here and finish up and to start into this piece here, which traverses over into the next quarter section, another quarter of a mile that way, and then those bluffs. I don't know if you can see them over there. I can't zoom in for whatever reason. So carry on, but this header started jumping all over the place, and I'm wondering, oh, it must be either getting awful tough or there's something wrong. So I came out and was checking things, but this gearbox or wobble box is awful hot, and there's oil in it because I just finished checking it. But with these wobble boxes, when you turn the belt, when that pulley's going, that should be moving, and it's not moving. What we've had issues with is this has come loose, but that is tight, and I don't see anything moving on the shaft there. So I'm thinking this is original. We've never had to tear that apart, but yeah, she's hot to the touch. I can't hold my hand on it. I think we're going to have to stop, and I think the best thing to do is swap out that wobble box off. We got two more we could latch on to, so, and maybe get this one looked at. So before things pile up, even these bolts seem to be tight. So, oh, always something. And it is single knife drive trying to cut this kind of hay. It's done pretty good. Well, our day is done. Not without a few casualties, as you noticed today. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. Some days are better than others. Some days that's all you have is breakdown. So the wobble box, well, I've never really had an issue other than those bolts coming off once or twice. Inside that wobble box, we've never touched it. So it's a 1977 model. What do you expect? So I guess we'll go in, have some supper, maybe check out some more YouTube. I see South Saskatchewan Farmers got another video out, and maybe even I'll check out Piper Doug. So like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully tomorrow will be another day, a better day.